Okay, hi. Happy Thursday. Pippi Longstocking here. Look a here. Look a here. We're not starting out this way. She smells something. Look a here. Y'all like that? She's already on high alert. I would have started earlier, but Megan called me. I had to talk to her for a minute. But I was like, look, my people like for my videos to start when I'm out walking, so I gotta go. She was at work anyway. My people. Y'all are my people. Well, I mean, she's my people too, but y'all are my people. And people like to see my videos start outside, okay? I have to give my people what they want. All right, well, anyway, happy Thursday. I've already said that, but happy Thursday again and again and again. It's a great and wonderful day. I decided to, I don't know what I did with my hair this morning. I put a few backwards curls in it, and it is already falling, so that's cool. And then I had a wardrobe malfunction. That's when I was on the phone with Megan. I was like, you know, it's really ridiculous that I can't decide what to wear to work. To go sit in an office by myself. Lisa's on vacation. Jen might come in. There's other people in the building. It's not like I'm by myself. But anyway, I ain't gonna really see nobody, and I can't decide what to wear. What is wrong with me? But I put on my gray leggings. I know nobody wants to hear about this, but you're gonna hear about it anyway. And then I was like, well, I don't like these tennis shoes because, believe it or not, they're a little bit too small. That never happens to me. I think from maybe when I broke my left foot a few years back, I think that foot is bigger, and my toe is constantly pressing on the front of my shoe. I don't like that. I'm not used to that. I'm used to having plenty of wiggle room in my shoes because they're always too big. Well, anyway, then I put on these boots, and I was like, gray leggings, brown boots. So then I picked this shirt, and I was like, no, a different shirt. And then I picked this shirt, and then I was like, just change into jeans. All this while I'm on the phone with Megan. She's cracking up. I was like, it's ridiculous that I'm having trouble deciding what to wear to go be by myself. I don't even have to go in if I don't want to. I could stay home, but I'd rather go to work. I focus way better at the office. I thought I would like working from home, but I find myself wandering off at home. Like, oh, Penny needs to go out, so I get up and go open the door. Next thing you know, I'm outside. Plus, Tommy's coming to cut the grass today, and I love Tommy. And I wouldn't mind seeing him, but Penny will bark all day. I don't want that. I don't want to be around that, because that's no fun at all. Anyway, last night, okay, as most of y'all know, I found the leash in the laundry room. I was on the phone with Kim, and I just walked it in there and hung it up. I have no clue. But the funny thing is, I had been in that laundry room 2 or 3 times that morning and didn't see it. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe my ghost just went and hung it up. My watch is... Oops. Sorry. My watch was all... I could have just taken this hand and done that. I don't know why I did it that way. I'm feeling very weird and awkward this morning. Anyway, last night, I went outside to water, especially my elephant ears. You know, my 4-foot-tall elephant ears, because they were starting to get droopy. Plus, I needed to put the hose up. Or else you'll get the hose again for Tommy, so that he can come to my house one time and not have to put the hose up, because usually I leave it draped all across the yard. He loves me. Anyway, so I go out there and water, and then I water everything, fill up the bird baths, do all the things, and then I go over and I have a tall ladder. It's my papa's ladder. It's probably a, I don't know, 6-foot wooden ladder. And I have like birdhouses and things on it. Some of y'all may have seen it in a much earlier video. It has, I don't know if it's a peacock or a rooster. I think it's a rooster. This car is coming up the street again. Please stand by. And that's called situational awareness. I'll come back to that. But anyway, I don't know what it is. It's a metal statue? I don't know. We'll call it a rooster. And it's probably not, no roosters. Well, I mean, I guess it could. Which, shut up, Tracy. We're gonna call it a peacock, because I don't know, whatever. It's got these tall metal feathery things. And then at the top of those, it has these little sharp football shaped type things on the top, right? But they're sharp. Did I mention they're sharp? Well, anyway. And then it's got these really sharp feet. Sorry, watching for that car again. Thought I heard a car. Even though I'm out here talking and walking, I am paying attention. I am always paying attention. Anyway, well, I get in a fight with the water hose and the ladder, trying to get the hose over the ladder. And dang, if that dang metal bird didn't fall right on my wrist. Ugh. Hold on, Penny's doing her business. I'll be back. All right, here we are again, and I'm on my way to work. It is 8:02, and I'm on my way to work. I'm supposed to be there at 8. Okay, so the pea-rooster, I don't know if it's a peacock or a rooster, but the pea-rooster falls on my arm. My wrist, not my arm, my wrist. My right wrist that has been giving me all the problems. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Why my right wrist? Why? I mean, I'm glad it wasn't my left wrist because, you know, at least it's not hurting. But I will say, it's not hurting this morning at all. It was hurting when I went to bed and I put on one of those braces that have the brace from palm up to about here. And it kept it flat. And it's not hurting this morning. I mean, I'm not gonna like start wiggling it around and inflict pain or anything. But yeah, it fell right on my wrist. And I just looked at it and I was like, really? Really? Is that what you're gonna do to me this morning? And I mean, this evening, it was last night, this morning. Anyway, I set it back up there and I went and turned off the water and I went inside and I put ice on my wrist and I was like, done with you. I'm done with this day. I'm done with my wrist. I'm just gonna sit with ice on my wrist. Anyway, it's fine today. I don't know. No cuts. That's the amazing part because that thing has some really sharp things. Tail feathers. Anyway, back to situational awareness. That is something that I learned by working in the jail because you always have to be listening for the doors to close behind you. If you don't hear them close, you have to turn around and walk all the way back down the hall to pull it and then push it to again. They're really heavy metal doors, and someone in a control room has to open them for you. So if you come through the door and just, you know, it just is supposed to close behind you, but you don't make sure, when you get to the other end of the hallway, guess what? They can't open that door. I mean, they can if it's an emergency, they can override the system, but they're not supposed to override the system just because you didn't make sure that the door closed. So you have to walk all the way back down the hall to make sure it closed. Then you are always listening because, let me tell you something, especially in my early days of working the jail, and it was much smaller. If they called a code in one of the pods, meaning the deputy needed help or there was a medical emergency or whatever, you had to be listening for all them footsteps coming up behind you because you would get ran over, especially someone my height. So you had to pay attention to the sounds working in a jail and the sights of like, oh, that inmate, it was an inmate worker, he's walking towards this trash can, but he's looking backwards while the person who's supposed to be watching him is around the corner and he's watching other people. He's not seeing this guy sneak off. So I just sit and watch him. I'm way up on this tunnel that takes me from one building to another. So I just stopped and watched him grab the popcorn. And he went to the trash can, pulled the top off, pulled something out of it, and put it in his pants. Someone probably in the kitchen snuck something into him. So you gotta always pay attention to what you see and how people are acting. And it goes for my neighborhood as well. I'm used to all the cars that drive through, and you can tell who's cutting through because they're going really fast, or who lives there, or who's not familiar or doesn't live there, but they're looking for somebody or something. That's what that car was doing. He was driving real slow. And then he, I guess, went around the block because here he come again. And I was like, oh no, you coming around a second time? Not today, because I'm paying attention to you. Okay, here we are. It's the end of the day and I'm at home and I'm going to finish up this video. And I have another video started that I started at lunch. So if I can get everything done, I might post 2 videos tonight. But anyway, let's finish this morning's. So about situational awareness, it's just paying attention to sights and sounds and those feelings you get. You know, all the time, pay attention. If you're just walking to your mailbox, pay attention. Do you hear anybody running up behind you? Do you see somebody going up and down the street driving real slow? A funny side note, I mean, it wasn't funny, but it was because my mom is driving home. I think my sister was in the car. I was in the car. My dad was in the house. And Mom noticed that every turn she took, this car took. I mean, from a long way off, wherever we went. I was little, so I don't remember every detail. I just remember this part. So we didn't have cell phones, you know? So my mom, thinking, oh, he's following us. I don't want to pull in the driveway so that he knows where we live. So every time she drove past the house, she would start blowing her horn, like up the street, and blow the horn down the street, and then she would circle the block. And the car would follow us all the way around the block. So she had her situational awareness turned on, but she was still basically telling him where we lived because every time we drove by the house, we blew the horn until finally my dad came outside and the guy quit following us around the block. I don't know what the guy wanted. I don't know who it was. I have no clue. But anyway, just pay attention to your surroundings, ladies, and pay attention to sounds. Do you hear somebody walking up behind you? Do they sound like they're walking faster than they should? You know, is somebody driving by too slow? Just pay attention. Keep your eyes open and look. Look about and see what's going on. When you come in, make sure you hear the door shut. Make sure you hear that click. That's all I'm saying. Just pay attention. Other than that, I did have another funny to tell you. It's when I worked in admin or warrant division. I can't remember which one. But they were letting people come work at the jail who had jail experience to make extra money because the jail, as you can imagine, is usually short-staffed because no one wants to work the jail. So I would go out there on Saturdays and work. Well, I went out there and I would usually work in bonding because I didn't have a uniform at that time. I was in civilian clothes. So, you know, they didn't want to put me down in a pod or an intake or anything where I was around inmates, so I would work bonding and I would write bonds to get people out of jail, which I like doing. So anyway, then Betty needs help over in the visitation center, which is where you go to check in to see your friends and family, right? So Betty tells me, this is how Betty talks. Tracy, hit that button right there and let those people go in. I said, okay. I said, this button? Yeah, that button. I said, okay. I hit the button. Alarm starts sounding. Doors lock. She turns around. She said, what did you do? I said, I hit this button. Tracy, we never hit the red button on the board. I said, well, that's the button I was pointing at when I asked you. Is this the button did I hit? She was like, Tracy, you have locked down the entire jail. I was like, what do we do? She was like, I don't know. It's never happened before. So then the sergeant comes out there. What the happened? I said, I hit that button. He was like, why'd you hit that button? I said, because she told me to. She was like, I didn't tell her to hit that one, Sarge. I told her to hit that other one. I said, I pointed and said this one, and you said yes, Betty. So anyway, the sergeant was like, I don't know what to do. It was new. The facility I worked in, we called the 84 building, And then this was the newer building that we called the 96 building. It was brand new. Everything was still new, and, you know, we didn't know how to do everything. And this was my first time working on one of those boards, so I pointed and said this one, and she said yes. Now, keep in mind, when I worked intake control, the red button opened the door. So I hit the red button thinking I was opening the door. I didn't open the door. I shut down the whole jail. And then you know what I did? I looked at my watch, and I was like, oh, look at the time. It's time for me to go. And I walked on out the front doors because the front doors didn't lock down like that. Because that's where the public came in and left from. That's how the public would come and go. So it didn't lock like that. No, it was just the doors that went down to where the visitors centers were. Yeah. And down to intake and all that. Yeah, it was all shut down. Apparently, there's a way to override it if you get the key, but it's hard to get the key when you can't get through the door to get the key. I mean, really, I helped them out because they figured it out, didn't they? I'm going to end this one here. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember that I love you and Jesus loves you, and I hope he's coming back soon because these people be crazy. And I will talk to you on the next Tracy Tries. I'm going to post a second video tonight, I hope, if I can get everything done. So, fingers crossed, stand by for video number 2. If not, I'll post it tomorrow. Okay? Love you, mean it. Jesus loves you. I've already said all that. Did you already hang up? Okay, bye.